Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. The poor Corvette is currently plugged in like a Tesla because I haven't taken it out in like over a month. And that's really not good. It's kind of like having a dog and never walking it. The car's meant to be driven, and I'm definitely going to take it out later today to run some errands after I'm done recording this video. Yeah, by the way, this stupid garage door motor is still broken, so I'm going to have to open and close the door manually for now until I figure something out. But anyway, the last time I took this car out was back in, I think, late October. It was on a group drive with a bunch of other cars up Angeles Crest Highway. And that was the first time I actually drove this car, had a chance to drive this car like a proper sports car. So I just thought I'd share some of my first impressions of that whole experience, how I thought the car held up, and how it impacts the way I see the car now. First, I just want to say, up in those twisty mountain roads, this Corvette felt right at home. Our group was we were enjoying our cars, but we weren't anywhere close to doing anything stupid or reckless. And I was just having fun, keeping pace with the car in front of me. And there was this box of random stuff I had in the passenger seat next to me, and I had to constantly reach over to make sure the box wasn't flying off gonna slide off the seat and stuff wasn't gonna fly out of it. Now, I've driven regular cars up mountain roads before and never came anywhere close to having problems with things sliding around too much. So it's safe to say this drive in the Corvette was definitely a little bit more on the spirited side. And, you know, I wasn't trying to test the car's limits. I definitely wasn't trying to test my own limits. I wasn't doing anything stupid or crazy. But my point is that it all just felt so natural for this car. To the point where the only way I knew I was probably going a little faster than the average driver was by the fact that stuff was sliding around next to me in the cabin. The car was just so planted and so confident in those twisty roads in the mountains, and it just really felt like this was what the car was made for all along. Now, with that said, there's one particular feature in the Corvette that I've really come to love, and that is the cinch button. For those who don't know, the C4 Corvette is equipped with a cinch feature that basically locks your seatbelt in position and holds you firmly in your seat when you're driving by not allowing the seatbelt to gain any more slack. Now, if you're anything like me as a kid, you've probably played with cars' seatbelt and tried to test just how far you could pull it out before it reached its limit, and then found out the hard way that once you let the seatbelt go, you basically trap yourself in your seat, and the more you struggle, the more uncomfortable it got. Now, I've obviously learned that the hard way too many times, and so as a kid I hated it when seatbelts did that. So when I first found out the C4 Corvette had a cinch feature, I pretty much assumed this was something I would never use unless I was either taking the car out on a racetrack or desperately trying to flee from a zombie apocalypse. And this car came equipped with the factory optional sports seats, which already offer a really good amount of grip. But even so, on the twisty mountain roads, I just felt like I was still sliding around a little bit more than I wanted to, so I thought I'd give the cinch button a try. And I gotta say, wow, I'm amazed at how much of a difference it makes. In everyday casual driving, it's probably a pretty useless feature, but when you're enjoying the twists and turns in the mountains and driving it like a proper sports car, that cinch feature is amazing. It really holds you in the seat and allows you to enjoy the car and the whole driving experience just so much more. And it was definitely a very innovative feature back in its time. And definitely one of many ways that Chevrolet used to communicate to everybody that this car is meant to be a serious performance car. Now, there's another feature I found out in the C4 Corvette that I've actually come to really not like, and that is the hazard light switch. I just did a previous video specifically about the hazard light switch, so you can go watch that if you want to know more. But to sum it up, on a group drive like this, the hazard lights are super useful to alert people behind you when you're slowing down unexpectedly or when there's a potential safety hazard. Like in our case, in one instance there was a bicyclist right around a blind curve. And I spent probably half the drive trying to find the switch for my hazard lights, and it turns out it's this dinky little button hiding behind the steering wheel, completely out of sight of the driver. And to turn the hazard lights on, you gotta push this button that takes a lot more force than it really should. And to turn off the hazard lights, instead of just pushing the button again, you have to pull this little ring around the button. That takes so much force that I actually thought it was broken at first. Now, given the hazard lights are something that can potentially have a big impact on the safety of yourself and the people around you, the way this button is placed and operated is just really not intuitive. And I think this is something that the engineers really should have thought about and done a better job of.